Welcome to Down South Football, man. We had another interesting, surprising, crazy weekend of college
Oh
football.
yes, we did. Oh yes, we did, sir. It
All,
was
all
great.
I all I can say is 2020. I mean, that's it. That's all I can say about this whole weekend is 2020. How y'all doing tonight, man?
Man, we good, man. Yeah.
Yeah,
Some
I'm
things
doing well.
change and some things stay the same, brother.
Yeah,
Some things
bruh,
stay the
bruh.
same.
I feel like this. I feel like this is gonna be an every week thing. So let's just go ahead and get in. Y'all might well just go on strap up. If your name ain't Georgia, Alabama, you might well go on just strap up for your life. All right. First game we're gonna get into this week. A little bit of an upset. I guess you want to go by rankings, but we all know the rankings are really flawed. However, Florida at Texas A&M, Jimbo finally gets his first huge win. And the Gatorade bath, bro, took it over the top for me. That took it over the top for me. You ain't done nothing. But hold on. Everybody just saying. Okay, I got you. Got Kellen Mond finally showed up. Had a good thing going on. But who wants to go first with their thoughts on this game? I'm Ben. So I let Ben. Okay, I'm gonna let Ben. Ben, you go first with your thoughts on this game.
I mean, now, the thing about the Gatorade bath, like y'all said, that's how you know them people in College Station don't know Jimbo's, his paralysis when it comes to Florida. The man is 8-1 against Florida. He's 8-1. He is 8-1 against the Florida Gators. So they kind of could pipe down on that. But I think the best thing about this game that showed us was Kellen Mond actually didn't have empty calorie numbers. It's 25 to 35, 338, and 3 touchdowns all came when it mattered. And I won't necessarily say he willed them to win because Isaiah Spiller was balling.
Isaiah Spiller been balling all year too.
I mean, he was 27 carries, $174, 2 tugs, man. It's just that I know a lot of Florida fans are gonna, they're gonna blame the defense, which they have every right to. I mean, they have every right to blame the defense in this situation, man. It's just that I think that Jimbo, sometimes people have people's number, and he kind of early on in that game, once he was able to maintain and keep the game within balance, I think as the game went on more and more, he felt more and more comfortable with Grantham, man. He's been calling against Grantham's defense, it's not like it's nothing new that he hadn't seen before. I mean, so ultimately, man, Texas A&M, man, hats off to you, man. I mean, now let's see what you're gonna do against Auburn, LSU. We already saw what you did against Alabama, so let's see what you do with this stuff.
Well, let's not bring up Kellen Mond, and let's damn sure not bring up the defense since Grantham just got fired this afternoon.
Is it official?
Todd Grantham's out, buddy.
It's official.
Yeah.
Mike. I'll take it.
No,
no, you don't.
Yes, I will.
So David,
85% of the time, you don't want that.
So David, what you got on this game? Because the defense has definitely been struggling for Florida, but I got to give Trash credit for the offense clicking. We're looking pretty good. But what you got, Dave?
I think I'm just like everybody else. The surprising point to me was, is how well Kellen Mond played. I think he may have listened to the show last week. I kind of went in on him a little bit. Not that I don't like him. I didn't want him to live up to, his
right.
I wouldn't be surprised if the kid gets to the league and actually be a good quarterback. It's those types sometimes that may not, light it up in college, but I don't know. Hey, that's just something throwing out there. I also was surprised. I won't say surprised. I was pleasantly surprised, and maybe surprised not the right word, but I enjoyed watching Spiller run the ball. I'll put it that way.
Yes.
The kid was told, and I can't take that from him. And then too, what I was surprised was at Florida's defense. But on another hand, I'm not surprised because I posted on Facebook that this is probably the COVID-19 season is. I mean, okay, if you got a good tight end, you're gonna win some games. If you got suspect this defense, you better really score 70. I mean,
you better.
Really. So that was my three things. The run game from Texas A&M, Kellen Mond stepped up, and Florida, like you said, they've already begun to make adjustments on the defensive side, and they got to get better. But I still believe in Florida. They just got to tighten up the other side of the ball.
It's going to be interesting to see what they do now. Now that Grantham is kind of as of this hour, as I know, is basically gone. But the big play of the game was the fumble. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
the fumble that happened. But you got to give players make plays, man. So hey, that's just what it is. Tuck, what you got, man?
Pretty much. I just want to tell tell David, hey, slow. Let's pump the brakes down on Mars a little bit. All right.
Okay. I get a little bit.
You say NFL?
I mean, I didn't think Dak Prescott was.
We have seen worse that made it though.
That's true.
We've seen worse that made it.
I think we just need to slow the NFL talk down just a little bit. I mean, let's get 2 games together.
Hey, Daniel Jones is starting in the NFL.
Right.
Just saying.
But like Dave said also, I think Spiller, the running back for Texas A&M, I think he did a good job. He had 174 yards, 2 touchdowns. Like I said, Mom played out of his mind. He had over 300 yards. Like I said, the Renard said the turning point of that game was the fumble because it changed the dynamic.
Right.
And when it changes that dynamic, it was like, Florida's not gonna have the ball last. And I'll get into that a little bit later with other games of importance. But when that fumble happened, I was like, it's a wrap because now they can take their time. Kellen Mond should be able to throw a couple passes down the field. It shouldn't be that hard. But give credit where credit is due. Texas A&M showed up and they played ball. They played the crowd was such an influence. That the Florida governor decided to open up Palmer Stadium, and now the damn Mullen wants everybody to show up for 80,000-90,000 people to show up for the game down in at the swamp. So,
but didn't he say that before the game? The governor.
The governor said it. I think a couple of days before the game was
right.
But look, guys, it was the crowd wasn't that big of a deal.
And that's the funny part about it. In our chat, we was talking about that. I mean, we saw that it looked like they had a few extra people. But Dan.
If it's 100,000
right
stadium or more, you're going to have 20,000 people there because you're at capacity with 20,000 people. If you're doing 20%, do the math, people. But okay, so
I don't think it was 20,000. I think it was more than that. But
it might have been a little more, but it wasn't 80. It wasn't 80.
No, it ain't 80, but
it wasn't 80.
I mean, it doesn't make a big difference. I mean,
right.
Your defense, the crowd's not going to affect your defense. Am I right?
Right.
No.
That's why I was like, why it didn't affect your offense?
No.
So what are we talking about here? So
I couldn't believe
he's crying. He's trying to. He has the Nick Saban cry, but he doesn't have no results because he doesn't get this stuff done.
Okay, on that note, on that particular note, wow.
Well, we're gonna get some people on that one.
I think I would. But a lot of Florida fans. I will say this to wrap it up. A lot of Florida fans are having a big issue with Marco Wilson.
Yeah,
about his performance, saying that he has regressed a lot. I don't know. I didn't, like I said, I wasn't watching him directly, but apparently that's a big talking point. It's like, hey, we thought we had another lockdown corner, but Florida, it's okay.
Yeah,
fix the defense. Maybe now Grantham's gone. Maybe y'all won't be the blitzaholics. Maybe y'all can get some.
I mean,
of the time.
And that's the point, like you said, and that's the thing when you dealing with Jimbo and he knows he's been dealing with that from you, dude. It's like it's kind of one of those situations where he never changes. It's kind of like on third down, you already know what he's gonna do. I mean, it's like clockwork. So if you can game plan around that, which Jimbo was able to do, I mean, there you go.
Well, Jimbo was able to keep those pass rushers and keep the defensive line at bay. I say Jimbo. Yep. Offensive line was able to keep it at the bay. But let's move on, man. Let's go on to the next game. The next quote unquote upset of the day was Missouri against LSU. And LSU really one of the stories of the game has got to be Connor Bazelak making his first ever start, throwing for 400 yards and 4 touchdowns and no interception. The goal line stand with the terrible play calling.
Terrible.
And
wasted 2 downs.
all those kind of things like that, man. I mean, Drinkwitz making an impression in Missouri, man. I mean, outside of that, and LSU just having these things of where they got to get out of this mindset that they're LSU from 2019.
Correct.
You got to understand what you are in 2020. So who got something first on this game?
I'll take a stab at it.
Go ahead, sir.
All right.
You
So LSU, the biggest thing I've seen with a lot of defenses, the SEC, and I mean around the country is tackling. They're not form tackling really well, and that goes back to not being able to do it in the spring, because that's when you learn. That's when you get your physicality from the spring and from the summer. And tackling it all over the SEC and all over the country, it's a problem. It's an issue. But however, LSU is more coverage. They can't cover nobody. They can't tackle nobody. They can't set the edge. I mean, Bo Pelini, to me, he's calling good schemes, but they're not executing, I want to say. A couple times, I can't remember the middle linebacker name for LSU, but he was lost. I mean, he was lost in space. They were running. Missouri was running pace. LSU couldn't keep up, and that's what they do. So, I mean, I'm not trying to make excuses for Bo Pelini or nothing, but it ain't all Bo Pelini. Just like we'll talk about that. But anyway, it's a lot to do with Missouri executing, and they executed well. Like Ben said, you had 2 plays down there. You wasted 2 plays. And that 4th down play, you called. I think you called those outs at the goal line. Man, attack the fade, attack that corner. You got the receiver.
Marshall.
You got him. Throw it to him. Throw it to him up in the air. He had good job by the Missouri defender to keep him out of that end zone when he was like on, I think, that 3rd and whatever, and he caught the ball. And he was trying to reach for the pylon, but the defender stopped him short. And they couldn't get a yard in 4 downs. And my big homie Marcus Spears said, if you can't get 1 yard, you don't deserve
to win.
You don't.
Go ahead, Ben.
And I was gonna say, and to Tuck's point about Bo Pelini, as we recording right now, it just came out that Ed Orgeron said that he wants the defense to simplify things. So to your point, Tuck, I don't know if it's Bo Pelini's trying to come with a new scheme that they just not used to running, or he's building off something that they had before. But whatever it is, it seemed like the communication with whatever they're doing is just not working, especially for Coach O to come out and say he thinks the defense need to simplify things. I mean, ultimately, like you said, we can talk about the whole game all we want, but you're on the one, you have 4 plays. I mean, you literally threw the ball twice. Like you wasted the first 2 plays. You wasted them. Like, I mean, I don't know if that was arrogance, if that was play. I mean, I don't know what that was. I mean, we'll never know what was the thought process behind that. But it's almost like, dude, you LSU, the defending national champion on the 1 yard line, run the ball up the gut and try to go on and get home.
That's it. That's it.
What are you doing? Like, just run the ball. It's first and goal at the 1. Okay, run it. Okay, then stop it. Run it again. You know what I'm saying? Like, end of the day, Miles Brennan, I know you're going to get a lot of flack. It ain't your fault. I mean, it's not your fault. When you throw for 430 yards and 4 touchdowns and no picks, it ain't your fault.
It's not.
It ain't you. It is not you. Terrence Marshall, again, my pick I had for dog. 11 catches, 235, 3 tubs.
Why not throw the fade to Marshall? Why not throw it?
Why not throw
it? You've been throwing that corner route the whole game. All of a sudden, you just go away from it?
You go away from it.
You can look at, I mean, if you want to look at, I'm always going to look at the line of scrimmage first and everything that they lost. But also the fact, I mean, you can look at their rushing numbers, man. Their leading rusher was 9 carries for 38 yards. I mean, that's not an LSU offense. That's not LSU identity. The fact they lost a couple people up front on offensive and defensive line, a couple of opt-outs, I mean, things like that. Those things hurt. And like we keep beating in everyone's head. This is 2020. Please understand that they didn't get the same spring, they did not get the same summer, and a lot of these cases they were playing. I know 2-3 teams in the SEC that were doing with 4th and 5th string linemen for whole week and a half of camp. So we got to understand like where some of these teams are. But LSU, I mean, they lost to much as any other national champion ever, and we have to take that into account of what we're looking at.
And also, I forgot to make this point too. This was not supposed to be a game at Missouri.
That's true, and it wasn't supposed to be at 11 a.m.
They're supposed to be at Death Valley. So
right
because of Hurricane Delta,
it was moved.
Missouri. So.
Dave, what you got, sir?
Man, I got a couple things. First thing I got: has anybody ever just really looked at Missouri Stadium? Like,
yeah.
Bro, it's weird.
I mean,
it's a high school stadium with a track.
Yeah.
I mean, it looks like it's hard to win. They just look like it's cold. I don't know what it was, but it looked cold. You know what I mean? It looked like when you come out the locker room, like, bro, we finna lose. I mean, like, what is this? Turf.
11 o'clock. Look, 11 o'clock in the morning.
I'm talking about the sun just coming out. I mean, God, dog. But a couple things stood out to me. I mean, you know, I think back to what was that LSU Mississippi State about 2 weeks ago, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And we had a few people that said, you know, hey, I think we gave LSU secondary a pass because Stingley didn't play.
Stingley was out.
Mm-hmm. You remember that? We said we're gonna give him a pass. Well, some people, I didn't give him no pass, but some people said they're gonna give him a pass. Because I was like, shoot, I still wasn't gonna stop Mississippi State from throwing 30 times. But when I look at scoring 60 times, sorry. But when I look at the numbers, I'm looking at the quarterback from Missouri. He only had 5 incomplete passes, bro.
Yeah,
5.
Yeah.
So in other words, for other people, he completed 29 of his 34 passes. And that's the first thing we'll look at. Now, when I turn the page over to LSU, I mean, Brennan threw for 430 and 4 tubs, but bro, it was 19 incomplete passes. So what tells me it probably was some opportunities out there. And I point to one thing that really stands out is LSU's run game versus Missouri's run game. I mean, it was terrible. You get down there on the goal line, you get four downs, and you don't even attempt to run. Did they even attempt to run? I don't even think they attempted to run, did they?
I don't remember at this time.
I don't remember.
I think they did.
I think they did on third. I think they did on third down, and they threw on first and second. They attempted to run on third, and then of course they had to throw it in on fourth.
It should have been the opposite.
Right.
But I'm just kind of like this, man. You know, my problem with college football and for fans is that when you have a good year, 1 year, that don't always mean you're going to be dominant next year because it's just so much turnover, man, so much turmoil. I mean, most teams, and you can go, this is always high school or even little league. If you have a team that has, let's say you have a senior-heavy team, or in, you know, of course, college, you might have a third year, you know, a lot of third-year starters. You're probably going to be pretty dominant that year. But the next year, you may have to take some lumps. And if that's what it is, you know, that's just what it is. I mean, okay, LSU lost 1 game. Florida lost 1 game. The problem I have with college football is that if you lose a game, you just feel like your season is just terrible, just over. They still got time to right the ship. It don't look good, but they still got time to right the ship. I think they just need to, like Florida, they need to tighten things up. It's not just Florida, everybody in the SEC, in college football, period. They just got to tighten this defense up. And what's surprising is that normally defenses are ahead of your offense. I would expect to see sloppy offense versus sloppy defense, but now it's a little bit, you know. So like Oderon said, maybe we need to scale some things back. Maybe we need to, hey, scale some of these coverages back. So I don't know, man. Like I've been saying, COVID-19 season is going to be one like no other, and just let it play out, man. I don't think nobody's going to be undefeated. So if you're looking for an undefeated season, I don't know if this is.
I like that point, Dave. I like that point.
Well, if you hang the success of your team off of being undefeated, this might be the season for you.
This might not be the year for you. I like that.
Yeah, I think we said that earlier. I think we had said, like, in the SC, I expect an 8-2, no less than a 9-1 to actually win the conference. Some things are falling in favor for some people to where it might actually happen. But this, I mean, that's why they had already talking about this might be the year where in the college football playoff a 2-loss champion probably might be acceptable. Because I mean, where you at, and we haven't even added the Big Ten yet, so we it's just so much that's gonna keep going. And the fact that let's just be real, there are no tune-up games. So, and you looking at now the bottom of the SEC, outside of Vanderbilt, the middle is a toss-up. You know what I'm saying? So it's like the middle is a toss-up. So it's you look at like, man, I don't know. So hell, you don't know who might win or lose each week because there is no we got a off week or we got such and such this week. You know what I'm saying? It's like, man, look, we got to go against this other SEC team this next week, and they coming for blood too.
Right.
There very well could be 2 teams from the SEC in the playoffs again. In this year, I know a lot of people don't want to hear that, but I'm just saying.
I don't.
It wouldn't surprise me this year. It really wouldn't.
To be honest with you, if the way it's set to go, I don't see 2 teams because right now you have Alabama, Georgia, and then you got the middle. And then you got Vanderbilt, and you got Mississippi State now again. So like I said, it's gonna be because Alabama and Georgia had to play again in the SEC championship game. They're not going to play. They're not going to keep giving them Alabama versus Georgia 3.
I hope not.
And honestly, I'm just at the point like I can't even think that far ahead with us finally having an SEC game postponed. You know, with the Vanderbilt game being postponed, like it don't take but one stupid mofo to have a sorry outbreak on your team, and then next thing you know, you forfeit game. So it's like I just try to look at 1, maybe 2 weeks ahead, but outside of that, yeah, we just gotta let's stay in the moment. Let's stay. Let's stay in the moment.
Hey, like you said, hey, look, we know Renard, you're right. We in the October. We in mid-October. Let's chug along. The Big Ten should be coming aboard soon.
Because 6 weeks ago, we didn't know what we were going. 6 weeks ago, we didn't know what we were going to have. It was just like speaking of no playoff chances. Let's move on to Texas and Oklahoma.
No chance.
That was a bad segue. Bad segue.
The Big 12 will not be making it this year.
I'm not, and y'all can say that. I'm not gonna say that. I'm not there yet. I'm not there yet. Nowhere near. I'm just not. Yeah, we'll talk about that later. We got this Texas Oklahoma game, man. The game I turned off when it was 31-17 because it was so.
Man, I did too, bro.
It was so many good games going on at 11 a.m. And I can't lie to you. I turned back and it was 31-31, and I said, "WTH? Like what happened?" So
they to the messages was like, "Hey man, y'all is y'all still looking at the game?" We like. Huh? What you talking about?
Yeah, because look, let me tell you something. First of all, I thought the game was over with.
Me too.
31-17. And I saw Dave text. Dave said senior leadership. And I was like,
what you talking about?
What are you talking about? And I looked at
and then he come with the Texas flag. I'm like
what the hell? Like, what's going on? We all turned back.
I'm trying to watch Florida, Texas. I got 2 TVs, a laptop, and I'm like, oh, what the heck happened? What he talking about? Let me flip over here and see what he talking about. Yeah. So, Dave, you get the honor of talking about this game first because, man, and I know Texas didn't pull it out, but man, if you don't feel sorry for Sam Ehlinger, then you don't have a heart. You really don't. Yeah. Dave, what you got on this game, man?
I mean, I've watched enough Big 12 football to understand that
it's never.
It's
over.
Almost like it's like an NBA team being in the second quarter. That don't mean nothing. You know what I mean? A couple 3 quarters, boy, you got a ball game. So I've learned just through the years that 2 scores to a Big 12 team, that is nothing, bro. Exactly. I talked about the senior leadership with Ehlinger, man. I just felt like he's been in big games. He's played in big games. He was going to try to put that team on his back and win this with this being his last one. I leaned on him because I knew you had inexperience on the Oklahoma side. You had 2 quarterbacks that hadn't started. You know what I mean? Outside of this year, they wouldn't have started. And I knew that, they would probably make some mistakes, but man, I just big shout out to Ehlinger, man. I mean, it was just a shootout. I mean, he was he put it all on the line. I mean, whatever he had zero in the tank. I don't know if Texas will win another game this year because he left all he had in that game, bro. I mean, it was it was a heck of a game. And if you missed it, I think you missed a treat. I mean, I think you need to go to YouTube tonight and just pull up and just watch it, man, because it was one of those classic.
Second half.
Yeah, I mean, and what got me, what I kind of love about this season is that it allows people that probably wouldn't see these games, they actually see them now because you don't really have everybody in the country playing football. So I even saw my cousin that was there. I think he's stationed in Kuwait or somewhere overseas, and man, he was on Facebook talking about the Texas Oklahoma game. I mean, I did tell him, I was like, bro, I probably don't want on your news on your timeline and watch it. But yeah, I mean, so you had people overseas watching the game. So, man, big props to both teams. I mean, Oklahoma, you know, Spencer Rattler, he showed some guts, man. I think they're going to be able to build around that kid. Matter of fact, I know they are. Once they get their run game where they want it, and I mean, you got a couple of receivers that are stepping up for Oklahoma too. So, man, I don't think you have a loser there. I mean, the scoreboard indicates a loser, but honestly, I don't really think they have a loser, man. They both laid it on the line.
You're right about that, man. They both really did. Oklahoma got two things they got to clean up. Oklahoma, you know, won the game basically they was able to finally run the ball, but Oklahoma is allergic to the fourth quarter. And I'm talking about
like it this year.
It seems like the fourth quarter with them just gets them. It's crazy. But Tuck, what you got, man?
Basically, like I said, when they said their senior leadership, I knew we had talked about Sam Elliott. I said, don't tell me these boys okay. I said, I be damn. I was like, oh my God. So that's when I started telling you. First of all, I mean, great game. It was a good game. But Gus Johnson in the booth calling this game.
Man,
I love Gus, man. I love Gus, man. I love Gus Johnson, man.
And he gonna go.
If they ever put that fool on, man, if he ever get on prime time at night, dog.
And most people don't like him though. I don't get it.
Man, I love that dude, man.
I'm like, why? Y'all don't like that?
I do. I love Gus.
It's off the cuff. It's real simple. He made some very good epic calls to me. I think he needs to be on Madden. I think, you know, I really like his play style. I love it. And people be hating on him. I think he needs to do the NFL on Fox. I really do. I think he needs to push his, but you know, people.
So if NCAA come back, he definitely.
Oh, he got to be.
He would be the voice if he ever come back.
Who am I lying? I'm buying that game no matter what. Who gonna know? Oh, but yeah, but other than that, bro, I just got you know, the Spencer Rattler, he stepped up. You know, a lot of people hawking on him about a couple things, but he stepped up, and defense is just terrible. We can't keep hawking on defense. So
we know what it is.
That's everything. That's all I got.
I'll just say this. I think we all kind of spoke on Spencer. I just say his resilience to me, because Lincoln was pissed with him. He benched him.
Yeah.
He's pissed with him, and he benched him. I mean, and for him to come back into that game and basically do what it was that Lincoln wanted him to do, whether that was making sure he protected the ball and he started running more. Because as you noticed throughout the call, Gus was telling, like, you know, in these situations last year with Jalen Hurts, he would just run the ball in this situation. You know, and he would get that extra yard, or he would do whatever he needed to do, and he would run the ball. And as you saw as that game went on, when he came back in, I think, I hate to use the word buy-in, but he bought into more of what Lincoln was telling him, and you start seeing him. He didn't run for no crazy numbers, but he started running more and started delivering more and just saying, hey, you know what? If it's not there, I'm gonna take these 2-3 yards, I'm gonna keep pushing, and we're gonna keep it going. And in overtime, man, he just played lights out, man. He played relentless, man. And you got to give it. Maybe it was the fact that, you know, that pressure finally got to them where they was like, look, man, we ain't trying to be 1-3, dog. we gonna win this game at all costs. We're gonna do what we gotta do. We're gonna win this game, man. And Sam Ellinger again, you a dog, man. You definitely. I ain't gonna say you're gonna get a statue or nothing in Texas, in Austin, but brother, you good. You good for the rest of your life in Austin, dog. Because the way you have performed in the Red River Shootout every year you've been there has been stuff a legend, man. So hats off, man.
Hey, I mean, I think, like y'all said, man, to me it was a classic Texas Oklahoma game.
Classic.
It didn't get as much pub because of the struggles of both teams and
Right.
and that bitch and a rattler can do something to you. Sometimes when you see something on the sideline and you see a kid that might be just as talented as you and Mordecai that they really like, that Mordecai was the guy that pushed Hurst.
Right.
And that's why Hurst got named the starter so late. So that lets you know at least he got that type of ability to come in there and like, look, you see what I can do, right? Like if you don't get it right, you're gonna be sitting right here beside me. So
and buddy, they got coming next year.
I know Brock, but
what I was about to say was Bob Stoops has done that before too, where that if it kind of like what Bob Stoops did that before, where he took out his starters, like everybody, he took all his starters out and put the number 2 team in and let them play a drive just to wake them boys up. It's kind of like what Roy Williams does in North Carolina. I see Roy Williams take out everybody.
Oh, Roy Williams will take out the whole starting five.
The whole team, like, you know what I'm saying?
And we'll play with the third string for like 10 minutes. Like, nope, y'all don't want to get no effort. Y'all can sit your.
You don't want to ball.
He will sit down there on that bench and just do just like this. Then by the 2 minutes, he'll look down there and be like, "Hey, y'all ready now? All right, get your ass in the game." Sometimes that's how you gotta wake people up.
Sometimes you do.
You got to, because I mean, like I said, Spencer needed that. He needed that kick in the ass. Because
he did.
I don't know if y'all ever watched QB1. That was the only problem with him in high school. He needed a kick in the ass.
Yeah, I watched QB1. QB1 is a really good show. But hey, Texas, Oklahoma, we appreciate the great game, man, and hopefully, maybe one of y'all can continue to get together. But y'all still got Oklahoma State, you still got Iowa State out there, so who knows?
Lurking.
But
Brock is lurking.
I ain't gonna say that, but I don't have that. I don't have that kind of confidence in that situation.
Hey, man,
but moving on.
Like
they can. I don't care what they feel. it's what shows on the field. Hell, I felt like Auburn was gonna have a great year, but that hey, what I feel like don't mean nothing.
Hey, 1 point better, brother.
hey, that philosophy does not work when you got to sit in the top and see what we got. Moving on. Speaking of Auburn, I want to Auburn.
Why not?
Moving on to the next game is one of Auburn's former opponents and one who put them back in the cage. We got Georgia at Tennessee, and I give Tennessee credit, man. Tennessee showed me what I wanted to see for them in this game, which was like, I want to see you compete. I want to see you handle it on the line of scrimmage. I want to see you look like a competing SEC team. I know y'all still got Garantano at quarterback, and he made mistakes, but they did what I wanted to see, so I can see, okay, here's that level that Tennessee is trying to get to. And Georgia, man, look, if y'all don't really understand what Georgia got on their defense, they are 2-3 deep where you need to be 2-3 deep. They edge rushers, they 2-3 deep. They just keep coming. They defensive tackle, they all just keep coming. They just keep coming. These guys, they've been stockpiling. Trust me, as an Auburn fan, I know the guys they got over there. The reason why people think they're the number 1 defense in the country, you got LeCount and them back there in the secondary. You got them linebackers over there. Bruh, the defense is 100% legit. If you don't know it, I'm sorry that you ain't been watching, but look it up. Look up the roster, and they are ready to go. Now, my question, this course, is the preppy Stetson Bennett the fourth. Bennett the fourth. That's my question. But hey, moving on about this game, Dave, I'm gonna go to you first, sir. What you got on this Georgia Tennessee game?
Man, once again, Georgia didn't really have a stellar night on the ground. But what's so scary about them, man? They have about 3 or 4 backs, man. That's just some dogs. You know what I mean? I think that the most impressive thing to me really was the defense. You know, I was just looking at a blitz package that they ran. It really wasn't a blitz. They basically had the D linemen, you know, kind of lined up. They showed 4-man pressure, but they dropped one and blitzed the damn safety. I'm like, wow. First of all, the safety having that kind of speed that can get there. And again, you having that kind of guts and that maturity in your secondary and on your defense that you can do this. So I think Georgia is going to be an issue. They're going to be a player, man, because they just defensively, they look the most sound to me of everybody that I've watched, which that's not saying a whole lot, but they look better than everybody else for the most part, outside of your Clemsons, of course. We'll get into that later. But, you know, my takeaway was, again, Georgia's defense, man. Big shout out to Kirby. I mean, I think some of the things that he do, the packages he can put together, the athletes that he have out there. I look for them to be there when it does settle.
I got you. I'm with you on that. I think I feel like with the Preppy, that's his name for me now. With Stetson Bennett DeFoff, if he continues to stay in there, that one of the big things I think is not just George. You know, I keep hearing him saying, "Well, Pickens don't show up in a big game." Well, you look at Kearis Jackson, it's really Bennett's favorite target right now.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that's what they want to question. Who's going to be that second receiver that's going to emerge? I feel like it's kind of like a slow thing with them. Like, y'all, we just going to keep churning. We got the talent. We just going to keep on churning, Tuck, what you got, sir?
Well, going off of that, I mean, like I said, it was a good game up until after, I think, the second drive of for Tennessee on offense when Guantanamo Bay.
Yeah, he back to that now. He's back to that now.
Back to Guantanamo Bay. But he dropped back and he got strip sacked. It was going pretty good, but like you said, Georgia depth really came through and they started showing up. Like you said, also is I think there's what's his name? The quarterback again, his fancy name.
Stetson Bennett DeFoff.
I think he go lock in on one receiver, which is going to be a problem eventually. But the thing is, with Pickens, he can't get to Pickens. To me, the reason he can't get to him, except on like a slant or something, is because he got over the top. He got over top help on defense. And if you got a good safety over the top, you're not going to throw that ball. You're going to have it's going to be drag routes with underneath concepts and stuff like that for you to get George the ball. Besides slants and stuff, because George, I remember the Auburn Georgia game. Peters messed up one call, and you could tell he messed up. He drifted all the way to the other side of the field because Stetson looked him off. And as soon as he looked back, he saw one-on-one with McCreary. That's easy. That's pitch and catch all day. So, but you gotta think schemes like that's the reason why Pickens has not been getting the ball thrown to him as much as I thought he probably would be. But I don't think we've seen everything from Georgia on
Oh, heck no.
So Todd Monken, he came from Oklahoma State before I think he's hiding a lot of stuff. I think he's going to unleash it on Bama, especially after seeing what happened this weekend. So we'll see though. But like I said, I think it's going to be. I think, like I said, hats out to Georgia. Everything showed up, even though that's hard to say. It is the truth. They're too deep everywhere besides punter. That's it.
Well, before you go, Ben, before I let you go, I want to piggyback off your point about George. Like, I think all that is going to actually continue to make it even better for them, because with Kearis emerging and the coverage was kind of shifting towards George. Let's just be honest. And the fact that JT Daniels wasn't starting, and they had this Stetson Bennett guy out here. He's just been doing what he can do, and that line is finally still trying to come together. That supposedly great offensive line with all those backs right there. Like I said, it's a work in progress, and we'll see how it goes. Ben, what you got?
I just think that when you look at it's funny in this college football COVID world that we in right now. It's almost like Georgia is the only team that seems to be, whether it's personnel-wise or just their willingness, it seems like they practice on defense more than offense, whereas everybody else seems to be practicing on offense and not defense. in the little short time that they had. And when you look at what they were able to do in that second half, it was just like, okay, all right, it's time, Guantanamo Bay, Garantano, he's actually playing worth something. And it just like once they got that first turnover, it just clicked. And after that, it's just like they was at him. It almost like they saw blood in the water. And they just were relentless, man. Tennessee didn't even sniff the end zone the entire second half. And when you think about if they keep rolling with Stetson Bennett or if JT Daniels, if they just waiting in the water, I think we're going to, a lot of questions, I know that's jumping forward, but a lot of questions about Georgia going to be answered coming up. Because, again, Tennessee's offense was what it was. They didn't run the ball nowhere near enough. Even when they actually had somewhat of a lead, they still didn't run the ball worth anything to even keep Georgia honest. And a team like Georgia, when they defense is clicking like that, if you become one-dimensional, it's a wrap. You can go ahead and hang it up, man. So hats off to Georgia, man. It's gonna be real interesting to see how this week unfolds.
I'm not gonna put. I put like this. I expect a good game. I just think with Georgia had a lot of continuity come back on defense, and they added to that with their depth. When you look at where we are in this COVID world and everything that we're doing, is the practicing and the lack of tackling and stuff like that. And you got a defensive mastermind like Kirby. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's his forte, that's his background. And the dogs that he already had up there. It's almost like when you get that recruiting class and you got everything you need. Like, okay, my 3-4 system, my 4-3 system got everything we need. I got the linebackers I need. I got the corners that I want. I got the safeties I want. I got all this experience.
For real.
Right. I got all this experience coming back. Like, they was already predicted before the season started. We knew their defense was going to be dogs. Like, that's all I kept hearing was how great and how good this Georgia defense was going to be. But hey, it's going to be very, very telling. This Saturday, I don't think. To me, I don't look at it as a true determinant of what could happen because you can beat Alabama Saturday and lose to Florida.
Right? Yeah, that season does not ride on Saturday.
No. And when I say not ride, I'm just saying like people like putting, and I think they bagged off the actual thing of saying how much they was going to put into this game on Saturday. Still a huge game. It's still a big game, but I think both teams are in a position to where they can both bounce back. I think it would have been different if we would have had the original schedule, which would have been in week 3. Right. But hey, it is what it is. But it's going to be a dog fight. Interested to see that game on Saturday. But let's move on to the next game, man. Probably the most controversial game of the weekend. And of course, it had to be an Auburn game because for the second time, the SEC refs have intervened in a game to say whether they're gonna not so much win or lose, but this game was. I mean, at that point, we win or lose, but
it was all.
it was. I'll give a little bit at first. There's still a lot of issues. There were some bright spots with Schwartz. Great bright spots with Tank.
Tank is a dude.
You found your damn RB1, which we kind of knew. I still don't know what's going on with MAR. I still don't know what's going on with a lot of other stuff. The line wasn't bad. I'm talking about offensive line. It wasn't bad, but I know they had some people banged up. But the other side of the ball with the D line, too many stalemates. There's never any push. There's never anything like that. I mean, we can go on and on and on about it, but I believe they stole one again. And like I said earlier, we could easily be 0-3. Or definitely can be 1-2 without a blink of an eye. Because I have not seen a game yet to where I just felt like, yeah, we won that game. Like the 2 wins, it's been like, whew. Well, we had to get a call on a touchdown with Kentucky, and then we had to get a call on a stupid ass play by Bo Nix, and then it's like, right. Like, okay, so basically your 2 wins have been basically SEC ref wins. So the ref should be 2-0, and y'all should be 0-3. But it is what it is.
I'll go before Tuck.
Go ahead, sir. That's all I mean, because I'm not gonna get into it, and the D line still sucks.
I will say this. I mean, I love seeing the kid come into a program with hype, and then he actually come to that program and actually not necessarily live up to the hype, but he's performing at a high level. Tank, man, y'all done hit that one out the park, man. Kid has came in and he has grinded and he is doing his thing, man. And when you look at the overall of this game, like you said, it was a lot of, I necessarily say it was a lot of back and forth, but I mean, I guess it just was one of those situations. I mean, you could say the weather had a lot to do with it because it wasn't like it. I mean, it was pouring pretty much the entire time. And ultimately, I just want y'all opinion about the last play with Bo. I just need to know from y'all two what were your thoughts on that, because me and my dad went back and forth, and I was like, "Pop," I said, "I don't know."
I'll let Tuck go with that first.
All right, so first of all, like 100% agree with Nard about everything he just said. Auburn could be easily be 0-3, easily. Let's talk about the play.
Okay.
Bo fumbled the football. That's the first thing he did. Okay. Instead of regathering himself when he picked up the ball and throw it down and spike it forward, he sidesteps. Okay. He throws the ball behind him, which I have no earthly idea what makes him do that. But he steps beside himself. What makes the ball, if he throws the ball, that's a backwards pass because he's beside the ball.
Okay.
So it's a fumble.
In theory.
Question. It's a fumble. However, thank God the referee blew the whistle dead. If a referee comes in and there's no, at the point of when they blow the whistle dead, if there is no clear recovery, the play is dead. The play is over with. They go with the call on the field. Okay,
that's what I want to know, because in my mind, I'm like, that was a backwards.
It was all
pass.
All day.
All right.
If people don't want to believe that's a backwards pass, then they're in La La Land. It was a backwards pass. It was a fumble. But thank God, when he threw that ball into the ground, the referee blew the whistle and called incomplete. Because when the ball started rolling around, nobody was trying to jump on the ball. Because even Jackson was right there. He could have picked the ball up. But he heard the whistle and he stopped. And then the Arkansas player jumped on top of the ball. And then that's when, Jackson was like, oh, wait, do I need to get this ball? It was too late. So a lot of factors played into that. Now, again, the SEC came out, made their comment, and they follow the rule of the law, of the rules or whatever. That's what people got to understand. You got to know the rule book.
Right.
Auburn's lucky, but you also have to go to know the rule book. So, yeah, that's on that play. That's all I got to say about that.
Yeah, because my dad called me.
You know what I'm saying? Look, Auburn got to get better healthy. They're not healthy at all. That's another thing, too. Defensively, we're missing what? Simpson. We're missing Damio. We're missing Big Cat. We're missing Britt, KJ Britt. We're missing a lot of people. I didn't know Troxel was hurt the other day.
Yeah, let me. I'm gonna add on to that, Tuck, and then I'm gonna give it all to Dave, because I just listened to an hour and a half show earlier yesterday, breaking down everything from a true technical coach standpoint about Auburn. There are problems. There are problems both sides of the ball. But on that particular play, yeah, when I saw it and I saw the replay, I was like, "You idiot!" Like, that's the first thing I said to myself.
Exactly.
And then they started talking like, "Hey, man, like, the whistle was blown," and the guy kind of explained it. And I was sorry. I promise you, man. And everybody was like, I'm like, bro, I don't get upset no more. Like, if ain't no screaming, ain't no hollering. But first of all, I'm not allowed to do it for real no more. So it's like, I can't do it. And then I'm sitting here like, what I'm getting mad for? Because it's not like they It's the fact that you let Felipe Franks throw for 400 yards. It's the fact that, it's not really against, it's not nothing against Felipe. It's the fact that when your line is getting a stalemate, and you literally getting a stalemate every play. There was like, I can't think of any plays that they got any push. If you're getting that every play, the offensive line on the other side would take that every time.
Yeah.
There are issues. There are issues on both sides of the ball. And it starts with both lines, and then now you got a quarterback who I don't know. That's the point. That's where we're here right now. Is IDK. It's I don't know. So it is what it is, and I'm not going to spend any more time personally on this show talking about them. I'm gonna move on. But go ahead, Tuck.
Before we go to Dave, right quick, I just want to say Kendall Brown called a hell of a game.
Oh, hell yeah.
He's been doing that.
First, second down, and then to do pace on third down. So Auburn couldn't get this shit. They couldn't get their shit together. Mm-hmm. And then he'll call a play. And it was a running back out of the backfield every third down. And we could and our linebackers couldn't figure that out. Pat Poe couldn't figure that out. Kobe McLean couldn't figure that out. Bruh, it's an angle route or a flat route. And again, I go back to tackling. If we tackle on third down, we stop them short like 3 or 4 times, and they had to punt the ball away.
I think 22 was just a better athlete than they was. They had them out of position, out of position, and was better than them. I just got to give it up to Arkansas for doing what they do, and it's like there is no pushover wins anymore. So like Auburn, y'all got a long way to go, and y'all got a long season ahead of you. Dave, what you got, sir?
Couple things, man. Really, real quick points. First thing to that play where they spiked the ball, because I think they ended up calling intentional grounding. Of course, it lost it down on that. But that play was doing when he fumbled that snap.
Yep.
When he fumbled that snap, it was doomed from there. I mean,
just fall on it, bro.
Yeah, but you fall on it, then you ain't really accomplishing what you're trying to accomplish with stopping the clock. But like Tuck said, when they Wilson blew the play dead, because I saw the Arkansas guy start to run toward that ball to get it.
He's like, wait a minute.
Wait, something don't look right about this. Anybody never fumbled the ball, turned around, and then spiked it. But anyway, I think Bigsby, man, I don't think that Bigsby is a dog. I think we all know that. Here's my issue, and I got frustrated with Auburn. It was really hard to watch. Actually, I took them off the big screen at the house. They made it to the little to the iPad. But I said hard to watch, man, because you ever looked at a football team and try to figure out what the hell are we trying to do on offense?
Yes.
And that's what I get when I watch them. You know, I'm looking at Bo Nix, and we talked on the show that, you know, the offensive line, and we know there's some issues there. But he's missing some throws that he shouldn't be missing. I mean,
not at all.
Stuff.
Easy stuff.
And I'm like, bro. I mean, first of all, what's your identity? We got a running back. They got a running back that's going to totally going to give you the best effort. But I don't even know if they know what they want to do. It's just hard to watch, man. So hopefully, but I've seen an Auburn team like this, and they struggle. They
just moving along. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're moving along. They'll win a game. They don't think they will win, and then, well, you know what, they rolling. So we'll see.
I'm with you on that, and to piggyback a little bit what Tuck was saying. Seth Williams in any other game, if it had been McNeese State, he wouldn't even been dressed out.
Right.
He had no business being out there. Part of the reason why Schwartz got the ball. I'm still trying to figure out why I feel like the playbook is so condensed on certain. And I know it was raining. I know it was terrible conditions, but there are just some. I feel like I'm watching them put these 4 receivers out here. Shedrick Jackson can catch the ball, but they love him as a blocker. So you already know they're not really trying to go to him.
Right.
Then you got 47 out there, Shanker, who's a tight end / H-back. Okay, you're not really trying to throw to him unless he's open. So you're really limiting yourself, but you got all this talent sitting on the sideline. And I'm trying to figure out what are you doing formationally that you're continuing to stay in this, that you're rotating these 4 players in. I'm like, so you basically saying you got 4 receivers out here, but you only going to target 2.
No, I don't get it. I guess Eli Stove is that important.
Well, he's not there, and then with Seth being limited, I don't know.
He changes up the scheme that Self can't motion back into a slot no more, or we call a damn jet sweep in the red zone on 3rd and 8.
First of all, a noticeable jet sweep.
Noticeable.
It ain't going away. I really y'all put Pegues 300-pound ass out there because he's athletic as hell. Let him catch the ball and run somebody over. Then some stuff they were doing.
Yeah, put Pegues in the Wildcat. He falls 5 yards forward. Look,
right.
That's what I'm saying. You're not thinking. This offense is not being innovative at all. It's going back. It's just Gus with a couple more pass concepts. That's the only thing I see different.
I really feel like that. This is just my honest opinion, and that's why I try a lot of times. When I'm thinking about Auburn, I try to take the fan out of it. Like y'all always say, football first, and I always just try to listen to actual football people who are actual for real, and say, "Look, what do you see?" And then listen to those people, because I don't like listening to fans because fans don't know shit. Excuse the French, they don't. They go off what they think they know. I want to know what you're seeing from a concept wise, and that's basically what they were saying. Like, you got a dog that you discovered. You discovered this dog, but it's like now you have the pieces. It's almost like everything's not coming together. But man, look, we'll see what they're gonna do once they get a little bit healthier. I don't know, but I tell you, in 2020, it's like playing the NFL. You win by 1 point, you just say thank you, move the hell on,
and just move the hell on. Survive in advance. Move the hell on.
Speaking of a game that did not have to worry about somebody winning by 1 damn point, Clemson and Miami. First of all, Clemson, I'm gonna be honest with you, it was a little bit of a question, crazy kind of like penalties and turnovers and dumbass coaching moves.
Dumbass coaching moves.
But Clemson kind of looked like Clemson. But I gotta tell you, 88 Braden Jackson. That's their new third. That's their new third weapon. Yep. You can tell it. And the Heisman candidate on their team is the one wearing number 9, not the one wearing number 16.
Exactly.
That's for damn sure. That's for damn sure. But you never know what Lawrence is gonna do, man. But I think Clemson is. They seem to be in that kind of a rolling phase. I'm not gonna get on Miami right now and all the ways that they didn't show up and all the ways they didn't do. But Brevin Jordan not being there, Brevin Jordan getting hurt in the second quarter with the shoulder. That whenever he got hurt, that killed them. That's right. I
turned the channel out of that.
That's like Seth Williams going out for Auburn. Like okay, if he out, then okay, well, we don't know what the hell we're gonna do. Like it's gonna be running the trick plays. So Ben, I know you itching, so I'm gonna let you go ahead.
To me, it's just hilarious. And I'm not even on the homer tip. It's just hilarious from the point of we hear this all the time. And I may hear it more than y'all because of the circles that I travel in and because of who I pull for. But at some point, it's like the Miami I'm back is about on the level with the Texas I'm back. It's like every year you hear this, like we're back. And then once they actually, like the thing I tried to break down to people, I was like, look, man, Louisville lost to Georgia Tech. They are 1-3. Florida State is 1-3. So the 2 quote unquote wins that you had on your table that was signature wins or whatever, those teams are combined 2-6. You beat 2 teams with 2 bad defenses, and you beat UAB, and then you go up against Clemson and outside of Dabo making a terrible decision to kick a 60-yard kick in the pouring rain before the half, you had 3 points. 3. And Clemson wasn't even playing that great. They were just moving along, just moving along. You scored one. All I got to say is you scored 1 offensive touchdown in the entire game. Yeah, Brevin Jordan went out in the third quarter. The game was pretty much over with before he went out. Now, could he have helped? Sure, he definitely could have helped because as we said the weeks prior, that's who King has been looking to the entire time. Your running game was literally non-existent at all. Like nothing. Derrick King was your leading rusher with 14, and there was nobody even close to him as far as carries. I mean, Cameron Harris had 8 carries, and that was it. Everybody knows you're not going to beat Clemson being they're another one of those teams. At this point, you have to put them at that level. You're not going to beat them being one-dimensional. You're just not. Even though you were behind, but you're still not going to. It wasn't that much out of control. And it was 21-10. It wasn't that much out of control. And you're not going to beat Clemson being one-dimensional. So, Miami fans, man, going back in your hole. Hopefully this one don't turn into
Okay.
like
Stop,
it normally does.
Stop. I'll let you go long enough. You was balanced at first. You was doing good until you brought all your old shit back good.
He does.
Let me get this straight. So you want them to go out first? I don't know what circles you travel in. I don't hear Miami's back. I ain't. Like I said, that's the circles that you travel in. The regular college football circles do not say, "Oh, Miami's back." Not me. Have any of y'all heard that before this year?
If you know a Miami fan, you know one. I know several.
Man, the hell with a fan. I'm talking about actual college football saying that Miami.
Well, no analyst is gonna say that because they already know that this is their pattern.
That's what I'm saying. Like you heard them saying like they are better. They're just not at that level yet. They're just not at that level yet. Now, would that might be good enough for second place in the SEC? I mean ACC. Who knows?
They don't play Notre Dame. They don't play Notre Dame.
We still have ways to go, but you were doing good by 85% through, and then it was just like
I had to give you the end.
He said Miami too many times, and that thing just that hell just activated.
He was revving up, dog.
Oh boy, I was like, let me rev it up because he gonna say something that I ain't gonna be able to get no Miami fans, and they gonna be all on me. But
oh God,
I mean, yes, we know that. Where it is with Clemson and now like, they're getting on that trajectory like David was talking about how many starters you have to replace and like the Clemsons and the Alabamas and even somewhat on the level of Georgia of Ohio States. Like Alabama's been doing this for years. Like they continue to replace. But Miami, I'm just happy to see them kind of back in a way where it's kind of like at least you feel like the game is going to be competitive. At least you feel like it's going to be something, but I don't know. I'm not going to give up on Miami yet, but we really just don't know how good Clemson is, and that's going to be a thing that's going to keep going on as the year goes on. But Dave, what you got, sir?
Don't really have a whole lot, honestly. I mean, on the prediction show, Tuck chose you.
He did with confidence. Look, he said it with confidence.
I mean, flash the sign and everything.
Flash the sign and everything. Just threw it up. He just threw it up.
And like I said,
so Lee Corso.
Yes, but I mean, like I said in the prediction show, I mean, everybody wants you to get back. We missed this golden that era in the 80s, man. Where those guys were just, I mean, in the 90s, where they was just, tearing things up. But truth of the matter, they're better. But right now, it's Clemson time. It's Clemson's time in the ACC.
Yeah, it is.
And until their reign is over, you got to respect it. I mean, this it is not going to be over, guys, no time soon. That doggone, what was that, Renard, the 2019 class they brought in?
All them damn 5 stars, man. It's like they had the most. Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Oh my God, it's ridiculous. And heck, you gotta believe that some of them probably got red shirted. So, and then this year with the eligibility, oh my God, they're gonna be here. They ain't going nowhere. Fans, Clemson not going nowhere. So, only thing programs like Florida State can do is get better. Miami get better, and hopefully they can turn the corner. But for right now, man, Clemson is Clemson. ETN, I mean, those you can just see the determination in how he's running, how he built his body now. His body today looks way different than what it was when he first got to Clemson. He was just a speed back. Now he's getting, now you can see the power in how he's running. They different, bro. I mean, I when I talk about Clemson, I don't see nobody beating them unless it's something like Alabama or Ohio State, those type of power programs. So I think everybody just playing for second place, to be honest. in ACC. But I mean, it is what it is, man. We just have to let things run its course. I mean, heck, maybe Dabo get a new job somewhere soon. You know,
Tuck, what you
no
got?
pun intended.
The Falcons are calling. But anyway,
They'll be 0-30.
Hey,
His
hey,
ass
look,
will
let
be
them keep
20-24.
losing. They might do the double up. Get Trevor and Dabo.
I ain't got too
And
much
that'd be terrible.
I did pick the U to win. I regretted my decision as soon as Jordan went out. Miami. But the stat of the game was Miami. Two things. Miami had 3 turnovers and Clemson only had 1. But the biggest thing is Miami. I mean not Miami, but Clemson had 34 first downs. So if you had 34 first downs, that means you made up a lot of clock.
Did whatever you
And then
want.
that means you're gonna keep that offense off the field. If you keep that offense off the field, that means you keep that defense on the field. That means that defense is gonna be tired. They're gonna be sucking wind. So a couple of bonehead plays by Miami too. They got Clemson like fueled up a little bit. A couple of targetings after on Sunshine.
And Sunshine got in their face and let them know, like, bro, I don't know who you think it is.
Sometimes you just don't poke the bell, bro. I mean, look, you just go out there and play football. And Sunshine, he did his thing. He was like, hey, y'all keep hitting me. I'm keep getting up. I'm keep scoring these touchdowns.
He gonna keep getting up.
And ETN, when I tell you the run with a long 72-yard touchdown run, when I tell you he dropped that thing in the 6th gear when he saw that, he's out of here. Like Dave said, we all thought it was going to be a scat back, but he actually started running between the tackles now. He's actually starting to get his vision, starting to get a lot better. He's starting to catch the ball out the backfield. Shout out to Clemson. That's right now they're probably one of the most complete teams as far as defense, offense, and special teams.
Right. I'm with you on that one, man. But hey, shout out to Clemson, Miami. Just keep your heads up, keep grinding, keep doing what you do. Don't let Ben put y'all back in a hole, man.
We just watch closely with them versus Pitt and just see what they do. They can prove me wrong.
So if they lose, then it's gonna be
this is gonna be 2 to 3.
Oh God. There's so much I can say right now, but in the spirit of keep going, let's just keep moving because I don't have time to address him and his 90% hate and 10% fan. Moving on. Don't have time to address it right now. Moving on to another surprising game that got moved an hour and a half. That was Alabama at Ole Miss. I have heard so much about this game since this game has happened on Saturday. Mostly the shock and the awe in most fans of the Crimson Tide eyes because of the fact that Lane just kept scoring, even to the point where we're talking about theories of stealing signals. Where Lane came out and said, "Well, we're calling our plays first, so whatever signals that we're stealing, it's after we react." Lane basically said, no. But even if it was, Saban kind of addressed it and said, "We got some missed tackles, we got this." I feel sorry for good Lord, I don't forgot the guy's name.
Golden.
I feel sorry for Pete Golden because he is getting crucified, and I'm like, it's still Nick defense. But while y'all sitting there crucifying him, I mean, he has been crucified. I have some more that I want to say about this, but I'm gonna let y'all go ahead first because there's some things that need to be called out about this game, like big time, and it needs to be said. But first of all, we got to give props to Ole Miss. Why they start these 225-pound defensive linemen out here, but on the offensive side, man, they got the weapons. So, who wants to go first? I'm gonna let y'all go ahead and go first. I definitely got a lot to come back to it. Go ahead, Mr. Gardner.
Mine not gonna be long, man. One thing that when I watched this game, I was really happy for Najee Harris, and the reason why I say I was happy for him because I believe this game that he had Saturday night should have happened
years ago.
Yes, Yes, because when Damian Harris stayed that last year,
Oh man,
that was
Right.
Najee's time.
Yes.
You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And
Right.
I was happy for the kid. And those of you all that may listen to the show may not, or just are new listeners, you may know how I kind of, you know, feel about Alabama, and I'm working on that. But I was really happy for him. I mean, I think that he deserves this. I do think that he's one of the best backs in college football. The balance and the power that he showed, and the athleticism that he showed was at
mm-hmm.
that size. I mean, that's crazy. Mac Jones, he showed poise. He showed he could stand in there and hit receivers now again. You know, he didn't get most, the most pressures in the world, but I mean, he delivered. Um, but one thing I want to say, and I'm not going to get into a whole lot of X's and O's, but I want to say this to the Alabama family, man, is that, when I go on social media, and I went on there early that morning, and you had 11 o'clock games come on, you had the 2 o'clock, 2:30 games come around, and everybody was saying, making jokes and poking fun at other people's teams
Mm-hmm.
that may have lost or who were struggling. Guys, look, this ain't your normal year. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? So don't poke fun at folks. What you need to realize is that you were on the road at Ole Miss, and you had Lane Kiffin on the other side of the sideline. It ain't finna
Mm-hmm.
play with you. And I think that I mean, as great as players that you guys have had in the season that you had, I mean, it's to be applauded, but at the same time, these folks are coming to play football, and they are gunning for you. You're gonna get everybody's best shot. So hey, instead of poking fun at other folks' teams, man, just kick back and watch your game. If that's what you're gonna watch your game, and you want to come in afterwards, that's fine. But leave folks alone, man, because I'm telling you, you heard it here first. Something's gonna happen this season that you ain't gonna like, and
Right.
it's coming. I don't know if it's gonna be this week or a couple weeks down the line. I don't know, but hey, it's that's all I got, man. I'm not really getting into the game. I mean, that's kind of what my takeaways. Najee, proud of it. Mac Jones, you approved me wrong, which I've been wrong before. That's no big deal.
Yep.
But Bama fans just kind of kick back, man. Right now you're undefeated. Just kick back, enjoy it, and just watch football.
And mine's is quick too, man, because this game I really didn't watch because obviously Florida State and Notre Dame was playing at the same time.
Why did you watch
Um, I just say this. What did he say? What did he say?
Tuck, repeat what you said.
that? I said, why did you watch that?
Man, I know, man. I'm a glutton for punishment, man. I know. Hey. Anyway, brother. Anyway, I just, I just say this, man. As far as Alabama goes, I'm loving the way that Mac Jones is commanding the offense. I mean, he's doing everything that they need him to do. I know that's not saying a lot, but it really is, considering everything we heard in the offseason behind so many people not necessarily wanting him to be the starter, yada, 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 yada. He's coming in and he's delivering and doing what he wants to do. But if you look at our timelines, I'm sure all of us can attest, you would have thought that Alabama lost this game the way everybody was fussing and complaining. I'm just going to say this. If the defense get it together, don't get it together, at the end of the day, you have an offense that can put up 63 points on the board. I don't know how many other people can really say that they can trust their offense to put 63 points on. So, look, man. I mean, the defense gonna fit. Nick gonna figure that. He gonna figure that out. He gonna tighten that up. Y'all gonna be all right. In the words of Aaron Rodgers, just relax. Just relax. You got an offense that can score 63 and probably 70. Hell, if they had 2 more minutes in the ball again, you know what I'm saying? They would have put up 70. So, it's all good, man. This week we'll see how things shake out. Then y'all go crazy, jump off the ship, and go Looney Tunes after this week if something go wrong.
Okay, Tuck, you go ahead before I chime back in. Go ahead.
Just pretty much, Alabama. You don't have. You can't play the spread. Lane Kiffin is a masterful offensive genius guru.
Mm-hmm.
he's going to play pretty good. I mean, he's going to coach you well. That was the first game he circled when he first got to Ole Miss.
The
It wasn't
first
Mississippi
game.
State. It was Alabama.
What he said, took that game one for to be moved.
Yeah. So, for another thing, shout out to Nick Saban for wearing a hat. By the way, I've never seen Nick Saban in a hat. That's something different. But anyway, tackling that it wasn't the scheme. It wasn't nothing that Golden was calling that wasn't there. It was tackling. Tackling was terrible with Alabama. One person in particular, Dylan Moses, I was shocked. I mean, it was a couple times that he couldn't get the defense set. There was a couple times that he couldn't. There was a couple times like he didn't know where he was supposed to be in the play. Like I said, he missed a couple tackles. Got called for pass interference. And early in the show, we were talking about scoring dynamic. And scoring dynamic was Lane knew that they couldn't stop Alabama. He knew that. So people were like, well, why would you try onside kick? Oh, duh, you're trying to steal possession.
Right.
Any way you steal possession, you try to get the ball back, then you change the scoring dynamic as far as they can't stop you either. So what you do is you go down there and score. Then Alabama gets the ball back. They'll score, but then you have the ball last, and then you can win the ball game. So that's how that happened. That onside kick was not going to change anything. If anything, it made Alabama score a lot quicker, so they can throw Ole Miss back on the field faster. So for Bama fans saying that was stupid, no, it wasn't. You got to understand the whole totality of the game and why he did that. Right. Another thing is. It was one more other thing. I can't remember right off the top. But Bama, look, y'all against Georgia right now, offensively, y'all defense should gather themselves together and play a pretty good, decent game against Georgia.
Not playing the same type of offense.
Right. It's totally different. Alabama and Nick Saban has on record, in history, have not done good against these offenses. Ask Gus. This is good. Gus has shredded Alabama before. Hugh Freeze has shredded Alabama before. This is nothing new.
With both bodies.
Nothing new that doesn't happen. But however, the tackling was just terrible in this game. That's one of the biggest things I came with. That Alabama did not know how to tackle. I just don't. And if you put Charlie Strong and change you're not going to change the whole.
Don't
defense.
Go there yet.
You're not going to change the whole defense within the year. If anything, Nick will probably take over the defense, but the calls are going to be the same. The scheme is going to be the same. You don't have Alabama do not have the ends like they used to. They have no pass rushers. They'll run those ends because what Corral was doing the whole night, he'll read that end, and if he dip down, he'll go and he'll just read the end. But sometimes he will run at the end, pump fake the pass. The end will lose contain, and then he'll just scoot on right past him. It's coaching, guys. It's not hard. It's X's and O's. You just got to you got to be where in Lane's offense. You just got to be where you're at. What the offensive player got to be where the Alabama defensive player ain't be. That's all he was doing. He was picking them apart. Corral ain't the most accurate passer. They made him look like damn Peyton Man out there last night.
21 for 28.
Bruh, and he was picking spots. They weren't throwing deep. They did take a couple of shots later in the game. And again, Bama secondary is going to be an issue.
Right.
It is. It's going to be an issue. But overall, when you got an offense like Mac Jones will throw you open. If you don't follow Cole Kublik on Twitter, he showed how Mac Jones will throw somebody open. I mean, there was no play there, but he zipped it right in there. And I think it was what's the kid name? The young one, not Waddell, but the kid. I made it.
Michi.
Yeah. So he was targeting him a lot, and then a great play call by Sarkisian on the it was 3rd and goal or 3rd and long on that last drive when they did right before the last drive when they did the end around with number 6. I can't remember his name either, but
Devontae Smith.
Yeah, Devontae. When they did the end around with Devontae Smith, that was genius because they were flowing all that whole game. That one side, they were flowing to the right side. The whole game flowing. And bam, you hit him with a reverse with him. And you think it's gonna be a pass play. Yeah, it works. But see, that's the difference between Auburn doing a jet sweep and everybody sees this shit coming, and then nobody sees it coming with a reverse, jet sweep action, and with Devontae Smith. It's two totally different things. So, but Alabama, you're okay. You just got to correct a couple little things, and don't give. And I know it's Dylan Moses' fault too, because he's the one who first came out and said that he knew that plays and signals.
Yeah, he started the train and it
got
just
a big ass board in y'all. Y'all got a big ass board in y'all locker room that says
say it all together. That says what? No excuses.
And you keep bringing them up. Look, they got the best of you. Just get back out there next week and then try to run Georgia over. Don't. That's just terrible. Lane's been gone for 3 years. Y'all ain't changed y'all defensive signals in 3 years.
Right.
What
you got, Noah?
That's not.
Well, here's the thing about the signals. Every team, every coaching staff try to steal the other coaching staff signals. That's not. I mean that's proven. That's what they do. Now, could they got some tendencies? Yes, but like they were saying earlier, like none of the plays were like adjustments to where like, oh, you're bringing this blitz from the boundary. We're gonna run right there, or we're gonna throw the pass right there. The plays were not like where it was like, boom, oh, we are automatically just pimping off what you're doing. It was just kind of like a good counterplay to what they were seeing and what they were doing. But Alabama fans, let me talk to y'all for a minute.
Talk to
them just for 2 minutes, couple minutes here. Y'all had 11 drives. Y'all scored TDs on 9 drives. Mm-hmm. Out of a possible, from end zone to end zone, 760 yards that y'all could have got per every possession, like total. Like if they would have done everything every time they got the ball, 760 yards was the max they could have got without turnovers, just a possession. You did 720. You only left 41 yards on the field. One of them was the 1 yard where Najee didn't get for the touchdown. Mm-hmm. And the other one was when y'all had to punt that one time 40 yards. Really? So y'all only missed 40 yards the whole game. Shout out to Jay Hope for giving that stat that I stole from him right then and there. But I'm just saying, like, that's absolutely ridiculous. And as far as the defense go, man, look, sometimes it just ain't your day. Mm-hmm. Sometimes somebody got your number. The kids wasn't doing what they supposed to, but y'all so quick to want to bring Charlie Strong. That's all I heard all day. Charlie Strong, big Charlie Strong. We give a Charlie, but I want Charlie. Okay, on your staff right now, you have former defensive coordinators Mark Stoops, Charlie Strong, Charles Kelly, Sal Sinceri. You got all these former defensive coordinators already sitting on your staff. Not to mention with Golden and Saban. Stop trying to change everything off one game. You know what would have been bad if y'all would have got your ass whooped and you didn't win the game. Mm-hmm. I understand I understand you have just hear me out. I understand it. Some of y'all, and don't take this the wrong way. This is me being honest. I understand you're spoiled. I understand you used to them not giving up no points. David already told y'all this COVID football. Mm-hmm. I already done told y'all it's 2020. It's survive in advance. You won't have to worry about that this week. I don't know who else gonna be that great multiple offense wise you're gonna face this year. The best thing that happened to you, if I'm an Alabama fan, the best thing that happened was we had this game. We looked bad. Mm-hmm. Now we got so much to correct. You know you got the athletes. You know you got the dogs to do it. So it's different if you're like a Ole Miss where hell, they ain't got no choice but to outscore people. Y'all got the dogs. There was a lot of mental mistakes. There's a lot of bad tackles. Stop overreacting, man. If it happens against, I don't even know who else on your schedule right now, but if it happens against Mississippi State again or something like that, okay then. But I heard they said they don't fire Pete Golden on Monday. Y'all don't even know who fault it was. How y'all know he didn't make the right damn calls and the players just didn't execute the fits, but they didn't execute or what they were supposed to do? Stop always turning to the coaches. You don't think that you think they happy? Did you hear Nick Saban after the game?
He was
Did you hear what he said? He said, he couldn't talk.
The offense played tremendously, but that defense, we got a lot of work to do.
He's like, I can't even really say how mad I am right now. Got to give it time, fellas. Give it time. We got Alabama, Georgia this week. Y'all still Bama, man. Stop tripping. Stop tripping. It would be bad if Mac wasn't good or if y'all didn't have all-world receivers and offensive linemen and everything else. I know you're upset. I know you used to being dominant on defense, but guess what? I'm not saying you're not going to be, but it's 2020. You had the game. You won the game, thankfully. Guess what? Now it's time to go back. You adjust and make adjustments. That's what they call practice. That's what they call film study. That's what happens. Moving on from there. This last game, and I don't know how quick they want to talk about it. This is a Ben and Tuck game.
It's quick. This ain't long.
David ain't even said nothing. David like David just I don't even see the Florida State flag back there no more.
It's on that side.
So go ahead, Dave. Go ahead.
The only thing I got, man, is I just think Jordan Travis should have been starting. Like last year. Really, I didn't say anything, but I really felt that way. I'm just glad they had a good showing, man. Honestly, I'm glad they competed. They played hard, and at the end of the day, I told y'all what was gonna happen. But that's all I got. You take me off the isolation. I'm good. No, I don't really have much, man. I'm just glad we just think. We didn't just, we kept it under 100, and I was happy about that.
Okay, I'll keep the isolation off of you. So go ahead, Ben.
And it's simple. It's basically the same thing that Dave said. If the only part about Jordan Travis that's gonna make you nervous is because his style and the way that he played in that game, he got banged up. He got banged up with the shoulder. Right now, at the end of the game, his hand is messed up. Of course, we're not gonna hear anything about it right now, so we don't know if his hand is messed up. So before we can all get on the Jordan Travis train, we have to understand that the style that he plays, he may not make it the entirety of the season. Now, granted, he's not going to see another defense like that until Clemson, but he may not make it the entirety of the season with his durability. Notre Dame defense beat him up pretty bad, but ultimately, all we wanted in this game was to see if we could take anything from that Jacksonville State game and have any type of semblance versus Notre Dame versus a quality team and a quality defense. We were able to score on Notre Dame. And ultimately that's all you can take from it. Now in the second half, whether that was Kelly, if he just eased up on the brakes or whatever. So I don't want to take from the second half that, hey man, they only scored one touchdown. I don't know if I can take much from that, considering how dominant they was in the first half. So ultimately, Jordan Travis, man, heal up. Terry finally showed up and had a decent game, worth talking about. And we just moved forward to North Carolina, man.
I got you. Tuck, you got anything you want to add to this Florida State Notre Dame
all
game?
I'm gonna say is being during the middle of the week. Well, not the middle of the week. Being on Friday almost changed his pick.
I did. I was close.
He was getting the inkling to change his pick. And I'm just like, why? I know, like I said, you just see stuff on the wall, you just be like, what the world? Right. But anyway, Ian Book, I say Ian Book should have a good game. He had a pretty decent game. Right. 201 yard passing. He had a couple. He had a touchdown, a rushing touchdown. Williams, I can't remember. Williams from Notre Dame, though, he had a pretty good game running the football. He was tough.
We made that boy look like Reggie Bush out there, man.
I had a feeling that Ian was gonna have a pretty good game. I think he was gonna be sufficient. The takeaway is I don't think Notre Dame is the number 5 team in the country. I think they're just moving up just because there's nobody else they play. Notre Dame, I forgot what their schedule is looking like, but they're going to start playing some competition here coming up. They got Louisville this week, and then they got Pitt. and Georgia Tech. So right there, up until Clemson, they should be popping at what? Shoot, what?
They'll be
4,
undefeated.
5, 6.
Yeah,
They'll be 6-0.
They'll be undefeated.
Probably, unless they slip up somewhere. I mean, that could happen, especially because it's COVID season.
Very easily.
So yeah, because we'll see. But like I said, I don't think I had my takeaway was Ben almost changed his pick.
I was feeling it. And I said, no. I learned my lesson from the title from Miami. So we good.
Good job.
So we good.
Well, cool. We're good. Look, we appreciate y'all rocking with us, man. It was one of those weekends, man. You just had a lot to cover with it, with the games and everything. We got more shows coming for y'all this week. Can't wait for y'all to see who we got. It's gonna be representing Georgia. Give some insight on Georgia and give us some insight on Bama. Not to mention our prediction show. So y'all gonna see definitely a lot of content coming from us this week, man. Make sure you like and subscribe on the YouTube channel. If you don't like anything someone said, that's where your place to put your comments. And you say what you like to say, and I'm not telling you to bring it on. I don't know what these two over here doing, but
Miami fans, come talk to me. Come on, let me.
Miami fans, do not talk.
Miami,
I'm about to mute his mic. No, do not. Don't talk to him. Please don't, because it's not going to end well, and I'm going to have to end up finding me another.
Let's talk about how you ain't going to ACC since you've been in. Let's talk about it.
All right.
He think I'm playing by me muting his mic, don't he? Anyway, please like and subscribe to the YouTube channel, man. Also, you can listen to the show on Anchor on any of your platforms, whether it's Google, Apple, Spotify, whatever you like to listen to your podcast on. But please like and subscribe, comment, interact with us, man. You can hit me up on Twitter at Renard D. Williams. You can hit the show up at DSL Podcast on all social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Holler at us, man. Tuck, what you got?
Follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Chauncey Tuck. I just want to say thank y'all for support, all the support from everybody. We appreciate everything that y'all been telling us, and good jobs, and the attaboys and the pats on the back. We thank y'all for everything.
Yes, for sure. Dave, what you got?
I mean, y'all can follow me right here, DL Garden 205.
Right here.
I don't know if y'all saw me trying to get my finger together when I was doing this, because it's kind of crazy. But yeah, right here, man. DL Garden 205. Don't follow Tuck. You feel me? But yeah, man, we appreciate y'all rocking with us, man. That's all I got, bro.
I mean, and y'all already know, man. You can reach me at Twitter and Instagram at I am DJ Double Dose, man.
Hey, man, we appreciate y'all for real, though. Keep rocking with us, man. We got more content coming, like I told y'all earlier, man, and we just really appreciate all the love and everything. Just keep growing with us, man. Drop your comments below. If there ain't nothing else, man, we out. Peace.